strung along every foot of Oahu's colorful coasts, strung across its highways, around its schools and its public buildings. Everywhere the earth was tunneled to provide shelter from shrapnel and strafing. Public squares, parks, and playgrounds were uprooted. Sturdy concrete shelters were built and distributed throughout the city. An efficient air raid warning system was put into operation, and for the first time in history, American school children were brought face to face with the grim reality of war. Even tiny little tots, confused and bewildered, were taught to march into zigzag trenches. How difficult to convey to them the why or wherefore of this strange game. Still more difficult to explain the need for these monstrous-looking things. But the fathers and mothers of Hawaii did. For this war is a war of survival, a people's war. Even a little people's war. Yes, your bombs, Mr. Tojo, brought many changes, and in no small measure served to further complicate the already complex life of the Japanese in Hawaii. As though to permanently erase their relationship with the homeland, they wiped out or removed every vestige of the written Japanese word, closed all the language schools, empty and boarded up the Shinto temples, gone the flag of the rising sun. This young American Japanese gave the best illustration that over Hawaii, the rising sun had begun to set. Thus, war came to Hawaii, USA. The Aloha Tower, once the symbol of welcome and hospitality, now stands clad in weird war paint. No longer do luxurious liners bring vacation-bent tourists to these once happy isles. The liners, too, have gone to war. No longer is Waikiki Beach the sun-kissed playground of the Pacific. Barbed wire has changed its face, too. Now, at twilight, the city streets are empty and deserted. Blackouts start each day promptly at dusk. Well, you may crow, Mr. Tojo. You've done a good job of stabbing in the back. You've darkened our cities. You've destroyed our property. You've spilled our blood. Our faith tells us that to all this treachery, there can be but one answer, a time-honored answer. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
We hope you've enjoyed this collector's edition of Good Times Home Videos World War II. Included in this new series in full color are such great classics as John Ford's Battle of Midway. See the exciting naval battle that turned the tide of war in the Pacific. Fight your way to the shores of Iwo Jima and join our Marines battling inch by inch for their very lives. Experience December 7th, John Ford's powerful Academy Award winner on the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor. See the Allied victory over Nazi Germany and another Academy Award winner, The True Glory. Many of your favorite World War II subjects are now available. Heroic battles like the Normandy invasion, an unforgettable film of that great strategic maneuver, or The World at War, a memorable look at the stormy decade preceding World War II. This fine collector series is available at your favorite store through Good Times, the leader in pre-recorded home video cassettes. You will want to collect them all. Write to us for more information concerning our future releases. Write to Good Times Home Video, World War II, 401 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10016.
skipper saying? Okay.
I heard him. He said Okinawa.
You know, they say this place looks like the country around Frisco.
Yeah, but the people look like Japs.
Frisco? They don't like it up in San Francisco when you call it Frisco. Spent my honeymoon up there. Drove up from L.A. Made it in 8 hours. 400 miles.
8 hours? What was holding you back? I used to make it from Buffalo to New York in 6 flat. That's 370 miles with hills.
370 miles? Why, right here we're closer to Japan than that. We're just 325 miles from their home office. 225 miles.
You heard him. That's what the old man said.
225 miles. Boy, that's closer than Milwaukee to St. Louis. I always felt pretty safe in St. Louis.
That's awfully close. Mighty close.
Yes, mighty close. Especially for a modern bomber with a job to do. About an hour's run from any number of Jap airfields. But here we were, closer than any fleet in history to a major land-based air power. At Midway, in the Coral Sea, even in the Marianas, distance had been against the Japanese Air Force. But now, as our fleet sailed against the enemy inner island, the range was easy for any Jap plane that could fly. There were those who said no fleet could risk it, but the stakes were high. With Okinawa in our hands, we could control the China coast, send swarms of planes to smother Japan. We were reaching for the throat of an empire. The risk must be taken. On the island of Okinawa, 5,000 miles from San Francisco, the earth shook from a fearful pounding by our ships and planes. South, our British allies were hurling their naval might at the bypassed fortress of Formosa. They were raking Sakashima with shell and bomb. England's greatest battleships and newest carriers were there, screening us on the south, paying off with pleasure an old debt to Nippon. On the northern flank, Admiral Mark A. Mitcher's tireless Task Force 58 stepped up its 2 weeks old aerial assault on Kyushu and the enemy home islands. It was the 4th of July in reverse. On Japanese shipping, harbors, airfields, factories. There's a Jap carrier in trouble. men of the Navy, 400,000 men, called it Love Day. Elsewhere in the world, it was Easter Sunday, 1945. At 8:30 that morning, the Marines and the Army went in. Thousand Yanks were rattling the lock on Japan's front door. They were plowing sacred soil with American boots, tractors, tanks. The first 7 days were battling, mysteriously quiet. Ashore, Army and Marines pushed steadily forward, looking for an enemy which had vanished. On the 1,400 ships supporting the invasion, men waited at their battle stations and waited. We knew the blow would come, but how and when? Meaning the divine tempest. We call them suicide planes. Manned by pilots wearing the ceremonial red sash of the Kamikaze Corps. They specialize in one-way trips. Their destination, the deck or hull of any American ship onto which planes, bombs, burning gasoline, and red-sashed pilots can crash. Secret weapon was no secret to our gunners or our flyers, who for months had been tinting the far Pacific with those same red sashes. But now, to meet our latest challenge, our deepest thrust, there rose every plane that could fly, new or old, from the very heart of Japan itself. 16-year-olds, still in aviation schools, were given their wings, a sash, and a mission. It was a maniacal, all-out effort to smash our sea power, isolate our troops on Okinawa. It was desperation. It was suicide. But it would be the pattern from now on to the very finish. A struggle between men who want to die and men who fight to live. Night it went on. Hundreds of land-based planes streaked low over the sea at our carriers.